Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year. I know that it's pretty late. Look, I've been meaning to try to record this video for about a month and I've just not had the time. So I apologize for the belated Happy New Year, but I hope you guys had a wonderful New Year. Let's do a channel update, shall we? So, because it is a new year, I thought we would recap the last year because it has been crazy and what to expect in this year. In 2023, because it might be a little uncertain. Little teaser there. But yeah, 2022. Wow, what a year. Honestly, 2022 was a fun year for content. A lot of experimentation was done and a lot of surprises. Like, honestly, I had no idea that a silly Backrooms project would end up being like one of, or to do some of like the best numbers on my channel since like I started it. I guess that's just the power of the Backrooms. But things like the Plants vs. Zombies Cross Vampire Survivors mashup has honestly been pretty fun to work on. Honestly, extremely fun, I should say. It's been a journey. It's been tough, it's been challenging, but I've honestly enjoyed pretty much every single session that I've put into that project, and it is going places, people. Trust me, we're going to be taking some turns. And to be quite honest, I'm hoping that this sort of continues into this year. You know, I hope that I get to experiment more and continue to move outside of my comfort zone, if you will. Like, I hope to experiment more and try things that are not necessarily in my wheelhouse, but, you know, the things that I'm willing to try. So, 2022, in terms of channel content, I was very happy with the things that I was able to accomplish. Outside the channel, on the other hand, was very chaotic. Now, try to remember to include the 2 community posts that I made in 2022 explaining further in context why it was so chaotic. But the short version was that I expected a lot of things to happen in 2022, but I expected them to, you know, occur over the course of the year. That unfortunately was not the situation. Pretty much everything happened at the same time or just one after the other. So, the fun fact for those of you who missed those community posts, I technically was not able to work on the channel regularly for like more than 6 months, which is pretty crazy, and I'm surprised that I was able to maintain my schedule despite the fact that I could not work on the channel sometimes for days. It was that crazy. And honestly, all that chaos was supposed to I guess the hope was that by 2023 it would mean that, you know, I would be in a better position to record content like on my own terms. However, this unfortunately did not happen, and I'm honestly not sure what that means for like the rest of this year. I'll explain more of that in a bit, but I also want to quickly mention that last year I also launched my Patreon, and I have in fact been listening to all of the feedback ever since I launched it, and recently implemented a few changes, which include price drops across all tiers, and it also includes an update on future content. And I'll be sure to link that as well in the description. And so the big thing that is going to be different in 2023, in case you don't read the Patreon post, is that shoutouts will no longer appear in Let's Dev videos, but instead will be in choice episodes of Dev Diary. And it's honestly a bittersweet change, because on one hand, this means that patrons will probably get multiple shoutouts per month, but it comes at the cost of me putting Let's Dev on hiatus, at least for the time being. And honestly, the reason for this is pretty simple. Let's Dev is kinda too difficult to record in my current situation. Like, pretty much any extended periods of recording, which Let's Dev often requires, is just kinda like not feasible right now. For comparison's sakes, like Dev Diary can be recorded in parts, like at various times. Like footage can be recorded at one point and audio can be recorded later, and so it's much easier to produce. But Let's Dev has to be recorded all at once, which is even worse when projects require multiple days. So at least for the time being, that's going to be the case, and it is in fact a direct result of the unfortunate turn of events that 2023 has already taken for me. And to pile on, just noting it here at the end that my PC, the one that I create all my content on, is currently, I think, on its last legs. Like over the course of the last year or so, I've been trying to replace parts as they break down, but sooner or later, like, the more expensive parts are gonna start going. And full transparency, I'm not sure I will be financially capable of like replacing those parts quickly. I mean, especially now when things are so like ridiculously expensive. So I just wanted to mention that because if suddenly content stops being posted, it's probably because my PC kicked the bucket. But anyway, the plan moving forward is to take the time and effort that would usually be spent on Let's Dev and apply it elsewhere. So things such as like the Patreon or maybe other channel related content will hopefully get more attention, if you will. And honestly, I know that a lot of this probably sounded like doom and gloom, but I don't intend any of this to come off as negative. Like, while my situation right now is not ideal, I'm still remaining positive and optimistic that, you know, things will turn out for the best. As long as the PC will keep up, I will intend to continue to do my best to provide quality content for you guys on a weekly basis, as I have all this time and for as long as I can do it. So as always, I want to thank you all so much for your continued support. This remains to be one of my most favorite things to do every single week, any opportunity that I get to do it. So thank you guys so much for continuing to support it, and it goes for everybody regardless of the level of support that you show. I appreciate it all. So please take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys Monday or whenever you guys watch this for more game dev goodness.